Hello, in this part I will go over how to use the if function, also nested ifs, and combining them with some other functions such as and, or. Okay, so let's start here with the first exercise. We're going to use the if function to check if either of these people have passed or failed. So let's see here. So we enter our if function and we have some arguments here. The first is to check the logical tests. This is what we say. We want to compare the scores to a value. You need more than 50 points. So the lowest is 51. So what you do is you use the score larger than 50. So we're checking, is this larger than 50? That's the question. And if this is true, meaning it's larger than 50, what we want to return? We want to return pass. And if it's not, then we have failed. So go to the fail here. Nice. And then you can copy paste this down, paste, and we can double check that it's correct. Okay, in the next part here, I'm gonna go on a little trickier if function called a nested if. So a nested if is an if function that is put inside an if function. So this can be useful if you have like several conditionals you want to compare. So let's use that. If here we want to check that we only one of those exams we need more than 50. So if we get 50 over 51 on exam 2, but we get less than 51 on the first exam, we will fail. No, we will pass, because we only need one to be pass on one exam. So let's enter the similar formula like we did on the last one. So more than 50. It's pretty much the same on the first two arguments. So if the value is true, we want to receive pass. But before we give it a fail, we need to check the other exam score. So what we can do is we can enter another if, and now check with this exam score 2. So if this one is more than 50, we can enter pass. And if it's not true, then we have checked both arguments here. So now we have failed both exam 1, and now we failed also exam 2. So here, that means we will receive a fail. Now close the both parentheses here, and then paste this down. Obviously, this is correct. So we can change the scores here to, for example, let's say we get 50 here. It'll fail, because it failed both exams. So you need to fail both exams to fail here. Okay, Control C. Okay, so let's do the same exercise here, but with different functions here. You can use the functions called and or function. So this means we can have multiple conditionals instead of having a nested if. So let's say we want to do the same thing on that exercise. We can use the or function. So it checks whether any of arguments are true, returns true or false, and if both arguments are false, that's the only time it will return false. So we only need one exam to be passed, right? And the difference with and, this could be useful if you want both exams to be above a certain value. Like both must be above 50, then you should use and. But we'll use or because we only require one exam to be above 50. So we use the or here. And how do you do it? It's the same as the logical test. So if it's above 50, and then here on logical 2 is our second logical test. So it is the exam 2. We want to check this one as well. And we closed it. And now we simply, if this is true, if either exam 1 is above 50 or D25 is above 50, I want to return pass. Otherwise a fail. Okay, enter in, copy, and paste. And we get the same results. And we can double check fail. Okay, nice. Okay, so that was how we can use the if function. This was a kind of basic overview on how we can use it, a nested if. On the next part, I will go over VLOOKUP and XLOOKUP. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Thanks.